Alright, everybody, it is Kings and Kaisers, end of round 8. We got the China National Protection War to finish up real quick. And then I'll get on to a recap of what happened in round 8. So, China has 4 IPCs to spend. They're going to spend 3 of them on 1 infantry and save 1 for their next turn. And the writing's on the wall, so I'm just going to try and be as difficult as possible. And the 2 infantry from Hainan, they're going to attack Kwangtung, which means I got 2 2s against a defending 3. And then in Chahar, I'm just going to attack. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to attack with my 3 3s against his 4 3s. Let's see if I can whittle him down, maybe get lucky, who knows. So, let's do it. 2 2s against his 1 3. Alright. Oop. Bump my camera. Alright. And I missed. And he missed as well. Okay. That's fair. So, I contest the Empire of China. That's all. Or actually, it's 2. That's a 2 IPC territory. And then up here, I have my 3 3s against his 4 3s. Alright, I got 2 hits on him. His return fire. He's probably going to ace me. Let's see. 1 on me. Okay. So he loses 2 infantry. I lose an artillery. Okay. And that is it for round 8. So now we're at the top of round 9. We're almost done with this game. Okay, cool. Oh, one the infantry I bought goes down to Hainan. Alright, and I have 1 left over. And then I get another 1. So I have 2. Not that that means really anything. So there we go. Okay, so recap for round 8. Alright, Austria-Hungary continued their Dalmatia build. They continued building in their Balkans territories, fortifying Greece, and moving into and helping out the Germans in Western Ukraine. More or less that is what Austria-Hungary did. All of this right here is in Dalmatia, with that, the coordinating task force marker. They had some troops in southern Anatolia to help out the Turks there, and the contestation of that territory continued. Even though they attacked there, they were not able to wipe out the Brits. The Brits had 2 infantry left, and 1 of them survived, which led to this Italian reinforcement, as you can see. So that's kind of interesting. And moving on from the Austria-Hungary, Russia did its usual kind of dance thing, but Russia also built a transport and started bringing units into Lithuania to attack Lithuania, using the bombardment there as support, and took out Belarus, moved their units to Volga and Kazan, respectively, mostly. And that then, with that presented to them, the Germans chose to go into Western Ukraine and Crimea, primarily Crimea. All of this is in Crimea, and we had a very interesting battle here in Lithuania with 2 German infantry and 2 Zeppelins attacking 2 Russian infantry and not getting a single hit, and then the Russians got 1 hit against them. So Zeppelins went back to Berlin, and 1 infantry unit stayed in Lithuania, obviously. And then after that, let's see what else. Previously Russians came into Belarus, like I said, and they have their Air Force up here, having the fighter pair with the dreadnought in 25. And they moved back up to here. Their poison gas is in Kazan. Germany sent what it could over there, but has had to deal with an enormous problem on the Western Front. So this might be the end of that, but we'll see. As you can see, the French and British pushed into the original German territories on the Western Front, and it is looking kind of grim over there because of just how much is pouring in there with the help of the Americans now. So kind of is what it is at that point over there. The British took Alsace. They contested Rhine province, and the French conquered Switzerland, and they also took Lorraine back and initially contested Alsace before the British could come in there. So definitely a very heavy 1-2 punch over there. They have the giant fleet up here in Sea Zone 20, and moving fleet down here as well. And they, with the British, what was it? They tried to attack northern Anatolia once again and got diced, and there's one Turkish unit left there to contest the territory for them. And my Albania guy got knocked over. And we got a bunch of stuff over here. With a bunch of the British took Syrian desert. They fortified Palestine. We have all of this right here in Egypt. They knocked out the Turks. Oh, by the way, here is the boneyard dish for the round. Pretty hefty. A lot of chips, a couple fighter units. We had a dogfight here in Egypt. The Ottoman fighter pilot lost, but he managed to take out one British fighter with him. So that's kind of cool. It was, dogfights are always very suspenseful. Probably, honestly, in terms of this game, in terms of how much impact they have, the most suspenseful fights of the battle, of the war, of the game, are the dogfight battles, because it has so much of the impact is so huge in the long term of things, which is really fun. It's cool. Different way to approach things. And then also, as you can see, there's a lot of U.S. naval units in here, and also Austrian naval units, which I will get to in a bit. We also have the German tank was destroyed, and several German units, Italian units, Chinese units, Russian units, a few Italian units. Anyway, moving on. After British and France, Nigeria is still contested. He hasn't been able to get a hit over there currently, so Nigeria is still contested. Just a funny happenstance, more or less. And then on from there, Japan has started sending units along the Trans-Siberian Rail to Moscow, as well as getting units to Urals to reinforce. We have the Japanese finally took out the German colony at Qingdao, and the Germans are kicked out of the Pacific, and as well as Trinidad, so the Allies have that victory point. And all of this right now is congregated in Qingdao. And then we have all these forces over here, and Japan could intercept in China. However, there is a very likely Allied victory going on in China, as you can see from the beginning of this video. So that might not happen. The Ottoman Empire, after being, I guess, irritated and went into Egypt, that was not the right move, because it opened everything else up, and the Allies just pounced on it. Italians walked in and took Palestine beforehand, and that allowed them to reinforce southern Anatolia, because the Ottomans did not have enough to reinforce against southern Anatolia to fight back against it. They just built in Marmara on their tech roll. They got a minefield, and they got at first they got a military base, and then I re-rolled it, and they got a poison gas. We're still talking about the rule for that. So that one's kind of in limbo, but we'll get there. Ottomans are still contesting here in northern Anatolia, so they have one more round before those British with poison gas attack Marmara anyway. So we'll see. But the Allies, as you can see, they have 3 minor cities in the Middle East, which is a pretty significant deal, a pretty big thing. And the Ottomans have no chance of taking Cairo now. So that's cool. And Italy is doing its usual thing, but besides the usual thing, they are they backed everything out of Veneto to Tuscany for some reason. So I'm not sure what he's cooking up. He feels confident enough that he doesn't need Veneto, whatever, which is possibly the case. Maybe it's bait. I always have to ask it with Madman. Is that bait? Who knows? He's always scheming, so, lives up to his name. But we got all of that there in Tuscany and all of that there in Lazio. And also he built transports. The Americans came in and reinforced southern Anatolia, so all this stuff here is in southern Anatolia, and they went in and attacked the Austrian Navy, got destroyed on mines, but still whittled the battle down to basically being a draw, so only the Austrian transport is left. And there's still improved sea mine or naval mines in that territory, but all somebody has to do is send one unit in there to kill that transport. Unless, Austria-Hungary goes first. Maybe I'll buy some naval units. We'll see. But it's very possible, maybe not, So anyway, that about does it. Italy is kicking butt over here in the Middle East, as well as back home. And America is just chucking over units like crazy. They're also bringing units over and utilizing the Trans-Siberian Railway as well as Japan. So that's pretty cool to reinforce Russia and prevent the communism flip, the Russian Civil War and Russian Revolution occurring, and all that jazz. So that about summarizes it for round 8. So on to round 9. We have 2 rounds left. Really cool game. Here is the points so far. Central Powers only have the Balkans, they have the Black Sea, they have Belgrade, and they have Sofia, and they also have 3 minor cities, which are Kiev, Warsaw, and Bucharest. Whereas the Allies have 5 minor cities: Basra, Jerusalem, Mecca, Strasbourg, and Ypres? I think it's Ypres. Apologies, my phone cut for a second there. But yeah, the Allies have the Empire Point very clearly. They have favorable trade. They have the Western Front. They have the Russian Revolution. They have China. And they have Pacific colonies, as well as the Africa Point and the Middle East oil point, as well as 3 minor cities. So the Allies are looking very up top. They are winning by 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're winning by 3 points, basically. Still a very close game. Very fun. Excited to see the finale of this game. But overall, very happy with it. So stay tuned for the finale, which will begin now with round 9 and then 10, and then we'll be done. So stay tuned. And slight correction, I rewatched my video, and I was wrong about the Allied victory points. I missed, when I counted up, I missed that, that there's, they actually have, I didn't count the minor cities, the 3 minor cities that Allies have, but the Allies also actually have 5 minor cities. They have Basra, Jerusalem, Mecca, Strasbourg, and Ypres. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the points as it is right now. And let's see. Oh, actually, no, they have one more. They have the Suez right now, because they control Egypt and Palestine quite convincingly. So the Allies are steamrolling me. I only have 5 points. The Allies are winning with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Allies have 6 points on top of me. I only have 4. And so they have 10, right? But 6 is what matters. All right, so onward to the rest of the game.